All right, welcome to Aligned Trading. Going over today's SPY recap and live analysis before taking a look at what to be watching into tomorrow. So first thing that I explained in the pre-market brief for Discord members today was to be watching for the 20-day moving average. Once again, as we got that retest on Friday right here, and there was some tapering here towards the end of the day, as we can see with that yellow and blue and this inverse head and shoulder that is looking to form right there. So I explained, right, to be paying attention for that. And if we did want to head up, you would want to see us get above this 587.24 level right there. And you can see how that forms within that purple buying continuation right there. Now we don't quite make it to 590 like we were looking for right here to continue to close that cup and then see this yellow and blue building that handle right here if we do want to see higher. But you can see, right, we came 50 cents short, and now that handle within blue and yellow is starting to build right here, and a possible inverse head and shoulder there to start to get that breakout and possibly retest this 5-day, which we'll talk about later as well. Now, if you were trying to short this today, right, you would have had to have seen this starting to form right there, ultimately that 20 becoming resistance, and then that orange selling continuation to bring us lower. And then I will go over this later, but same thing here. We had this inverse cup close on the 1 minute, but as you can see, right, there was no handle and ultimately no continuation within that orange right there like we needed to see. And you can see how we are still within that yellow and possible tapering if we do not start to see this inverse cup close back to the 20 and form resistance to give us a move lower. But now we will go over the intraday analysis and the trades taken on the 1 minute chart. So now here on the 1 minute chart, going over the microstructure and algorithms, and I'm going to keep it brief today just for time's sake. But here in the morning, you can see off the open, we have this initial orange selling, and then we start to see this tapering right here. Now we reach that open price once again, trying to form this cup and handle right here. Takes a bit of time, and we cannot form that handle like we need to see that continuation. And instead, right, you see how we do start forming within that white, this head and shoulder that gives us that breakdown back to low of day. Now, as I was explaining here, we need to be seeing this handle forming right there and breaking low of day, reaching that 20-day moving average if we do get that retest possibly and then form something like that off of it, or form resistance below that 20 and see that continuation to the downside as we talked about. Now, as I was explaining, right, with this not being able to crack the low of day right there, and we do see this starting to taper, right, pay attention if we do want to form that, and that is exactly what we start to form. And then from here, right, we have this yellow and red algorithm right there forming this, and you will see this continue on right here with these inverse head and shoulders, the same algorithm, right? So once again, that yellow and red inverse head and shoulder, same thing right here. So you could have been scalping this on the way up. Now at this point here as well, like I talked about with that 587.24 level, you can see how we start to break out of it right here. That is the level that we are looking for, and ultimately that continuation right here. Otherwise, we would need to be seeing that forming right here, and then ultimately that inverse cup back to the 20, which you can see we did not form. And if that were to happen, right, we would want to be seeing this and a breakout of this white algorithm, and ultimately this pink tapering, which we do end up seeing. But right here, right, we do not see that. There is no tapering, and we do start to get that move to the upside. So you can see here how I'm talking about this algorithm and how we continue moving higher, but how you also have to be paying attention if we do start to form some sort of top right here. Pay attention for that to be forming, right? We initially see another move higher within that same algorithm, but there it is starting to form right there. There is this head and shoulder, and we finally start breaking out of that white algorithm and this pink tapering right there. giving us that move to the downside. Now you can see here as we moved higher, I was explaining on the 30-minute chart that we could be looking for that cup to close right here. Otherwise, if there was some sort of move to the downside, we would ultimately want to see it back below that 587.24 level right here. So you can see, right, we just cannot get below that level even after this inverse cup forms, which I'm about to show you. Do not form that resistance and are within this yellow and blue controlled selling right here, and this is holding as support. Now for the rest of the afternoon, like we went over here on the 30, right, we are just controlling this selling right here within this flag, and we are just basically within this range right here. Even when we do close that inverse cup down to this 587.24 level, you can see how even with this handle that we tried to form here, another inverse cup and handle as well, cannot get that move lower to grab this liquidity. Maybe an inverse cup to low of day, and then from there you reach that 20-day moving average. Or to the upside, right, if we are trying to form this inverse head and shoulder, possible cup right there back to 589, and then could see that move possibly to close the cup. But none of those formed here, as you can see, I was explaining on the 30. If a move end of day happens, otherwise, we are just going to be stuck in this range. So now going over what to be watching tomorrow, you can see we are between this 5 and 20-day moving average. If I show you here on the daily chart as well, right between the 5 and 20, which means a move is going to be setting up right here, whether that is this 5-day retest and we regain back to the uptrend, or we retest the 5 and then start to head back down, looking to turn that 20 into resistance, or maybe we cannot get above that level we talked about right here to fill this gap and test this 5-day, and we do start heading back down trying to attack that 20 right here with a possible head and shoulder and inverse cup forming. So in terms of the structure, be paying attention to this handle. It may happen overnight as well, this breakout right here. So if we are closer to the 5-day, you know what to be watching for. If we can get above this level right here, look for that to hold, and we can look for this 5-day retest and ultimately a possible gap fill. Otherwise, we'll be watching for this inverse cup and that handle to break down right here, starting to move back to this 20. And then if we can form that resistance, we'll be looking for a move further to the downside. Zooming out here, remember this is what we want to be seeing right here with this inverse cup and this handle right there. We want to be seeing that forming below this 20-day. So perfect setup if that can form. Otherwise, right, can be looking for this retest of the 5-day. Now do remember that NVIDIA earnings are on Wednesday, which will be a catalyst and is going to be important for where we would decide to go between these two moving averages right here, whether we do get this move to the bottom Bollinger. If there is some negative news that could occur, you would see that inverse cup closing. Otherwise, good news can find some support here on the 20, regain that 5-day, and begin this uptrend similar to here, right? And see how that forms off of this 5 and 20, but we got to be seeing that forming. But that is all for the video, so thank you everyone for watching, and I will see members in the morning.